The Israelites were spread across the desert, setting up tents, preparing food, and beginning to grumble. Forward they marched. Ahead of them, they faced a long and difficult journey across a desert, through dangerous territory, but they were bound for the Promised Land.
People, places, and things from the Bible.
Hey, welcome again to part 2 of Lessons from the Desert. This is a great chance for us to look back at what we've already discussed. We talked last time about the very heat and cold of some deserts. We talked about how Israel had to walk in the desert for 40 years. We talked about how they lived in tents because they were nomads. They would pack up and pull down, and each time they had to go from place to place. And we also said that when they were in the desert, God provided manna from the sky every morning, and that they had quail, which were like chicken-like birds that they could catch and eat. Okay, so this time we're going to go further into their lifestyle. What are the other things that they're going to be doing in the desert? For 40 years, there were a lot of things that occupied their time. Let's talk about daily life. From they woke up to they went to bed, they would do assemblies, like teaching classes with Moses. They would have to gather up everyone in the family, and they would have to sit and listen to his teaching. That's when he told them about what's good and what's bad for them. They would also have to maintain their herds. They had sheep, they had goats. Remember, they came from Egypt with everything they had. That included their animals. And they would have to feed them, give them water, share the sheep's wool, take care, milk the goats in the morning. Do you like goat milk? I've had goat milk. It's great! Okay, so now watch this video of how life was with milking your goats. Can you believe you can have goat milk, goat cheese too?
To give you all the activities that I'm doing now, you can do another 2-3 minutes.
Jesus, I can't wait. I'm busy here.
What they did with the wool, they spinning the wool.
Oh, yeah!
Take a look, this is the real spinning. You must know how to do it. It's all the way, yeah.
Whoa, haha!
And now.
Oh, it's gonna drain it. We're draining it.
Oh.
So they used to use their head covering.
A real piece of cheese.
So now you've watched the video. That was fun, right? Eating delicate goat cheese. That was the good part. But there are also sad parts, sober parts, very important parts that they had to do more routinely. Like sacrifices. Sacrifices, you say? What in the world? This is where the Israelites would take the best of their herd, the spotless lamb, the no spots, nothing wrong with it, and they would take that to the priest, and he would offer that lamb on an altar and offer that to God. Well, why would they do that? Because that was how the children of Israel would connect to their God. Sometimes people wanted to approach God with offerings of worship and commitment. Other times people wanted to make a vow in God's presence, and it required a very special sacrifice for that. Other times people needed to become ceremonially clean, like a cleansing where they would wash themselves and bring a special offering to God because they were recovering from a disease, or they had just had a child, and so the birth of a child meant you had to be cleansed as well, or you touched something unclean. But there were other things too, like cooking and dancing. Oh man, the Israelites were very famous for music and fun times at night. They would celebrate around the fire. It was awesome. And daily service to the priest, of course, and the Levites. So that was their desert place, their highs, their lows. And if we think about it, that's like our own lives today. We have our highs and our lows too. Sometimes life is a party. Woohoo! Hey, did you notice that was a metaphor I used? Life is a party. Metaphors are great here because you can use one word and suddenly in your mind you can smell cake and you can hear the music and you can just know it's a fun time. So sometimes life though is not a party. In fact, sometimes life is a desert. It's harsh, it's sad, there's extreme heat and extreme cold. Maybe right now you feel pressure, you feel stress at school. Life is tough at school, you're not enjoying it. Sometimes life for you is hard and you feel so stressed out. Maybe right now you're with your classmates all in the school room and yet you feel alone. You don't have a good friend. You're stressed out. That's your desert place right now. Maybe at home it's unkind, it's loud, it's full of fighting, and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what's happening to your house. That's your desert place. Maybe you made some mistakes. You said some things that you shouldn't have said, you screamed, you yelled, and you forgot to say you were sorry. That's a new place too. Maybe right now in this pandemic, your house is ill. Everybody's sick. Maybe you're scared of being sick. So you feel, should I trust God? Is this where God comes in? Where are you, Lord? What's happening here? It's a sad time. It's a desert.
I led you all the way in the desert. Because in the desert, in times of pain and suffering, in times of difficulty and hardship, God's people learn to know Him, trust Him, and love Him.
Just like with their life, He's there for your life. So even now, as you're wondering what's going on, He's reaching for you. He's loving you. You know what you have to do? You reach out to Him. It's just like the sacrifices. It's just like those routines. They were trying to connect to their God in their way in that time. You can do that right now. Even as I'm talking, you can close your eyes. You can, if you're crying, that's okay too. That's your emotions coming out because you're sad. Maybe you realize I am speaking the truth. And sometimes you just don't understand why me.
Went through a bypass operation. Maybe not as painful as some of the deserts that you've been in, but painful nevertheless. I realized God was going to have to take over. He taught me that in pain. He taught me that in the unknown and in times of difficulty and struggle. He is always there and just enough.
Oh, isn't God awesome? Isn't His love deep and wide, taking you in? All you need is to reach out to Him, to hold His hand, to offer sacrifices, as it were, to give yourself to Him, even when you're low right now, even when you're sad right now, even though you're in your desert place, your wilderness. Pray. Ask for God to help you. Lord, touch these children right now as we're talking. Lord, reach into their heart. Oh God, show them that you're there, that you will hold them, that you will carry them, that you are for them, that you love them. Isn't that awesome? Even in this desolate, brown, dry place, you don't have to let go of God's hand. He won't let go of yours.
Almost let go.
to me. So I'm gonna